so you don't end up dead. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 of the scariest Japanese urban legends. But before we get started, I'm Sophia Lovelace and I post about ghosts, ghouls, anything creepy and cool. So if you like any of that stuff, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be notified when I have new uploads. Also, when you're down there, make sure to hit the bell icon so you're one of the first people notified when I have new uploads. If you hit that bell, you'll be the first to be notified when I have premieres, which is an opportunity for me to chat with you guys live and answer any questions that you might have. A lot of you guys have been requesting that I do videos about urban legends around the world. And I thought, what better place to start than with Japan? Japan is famous for its urban legends, for its ghost videos, for its ghost stories, so I thought it was only appropriate that I start with Japan. Now, if you're a huge fan of Japanese urban legends, then you probably know some of the stories that I'm going to be talking about on this list, such as red paper and blue paper, but I made sure to include some lesser known Japanese urban legends, some that I didn't hear about until a few days ago, because sometimes it's good to mix it up a little bit. First story on this list is the lawless village. Apparently, in the countryside of Japan, there is a small abandoned village where the law does not apply. This is demonstrated by a sign that says the Constitution and Japanese law do not apply here. The only way to access this village is through a tunnel which collapsed, which during the collapse killed hundreds of Japanese workers. Now, it is unknown why this village is abandoned. Some believe it is because of a plague. Other people believe that it could be a result of how remote this place is, like it's very far from other major Japanese cities. Then the final, most commonly accepted theory, and easily the most terrifying, is that a villager went around and murdered a bunch of people in the village, and the remaining villagers fled. Regardless of what happened to this village, no one has lived here since World War II, and no one's been able to really find it. But people who have reported to find this village claim that they hear either dogs barking through the tunnel, or they hear the screams of the murdered individuals, or the workers killed in the collapse of the tunnel. Which, if I was just walking around the Japanese countryside and I heard any of that, that would be pretty terrifying. Number 2. The doll with the growing hair. Now, this is a pretty common urban legend, but it's not really an urban legend because it's true. But the urban legend is basically the fact is a little girl living inside this doll. In 1918, a 17-year-old boy bought a doll for his 2-year-old sister because the doll resembled his 2-year-old sister. She had the same haircut and they both had a similar facial structure. So he thought that he would buy the doll for his little sister because they looked exactly alike. His sister loved the doll and she carried it around with her everywhere. However, a few months later she died, and the family of course was devastated, so they put the doll in a shrine and treated her like she was the daughter that they had lost. A few months had went by and they realized that the doll's hair was growing, and so they decided to cut it once, maybe just thinking it was a coincidence or maybe their eyes were playing tricks on them. But it became very obvious over the next few months that the doll's hair was indeed growing. The father decided to donate the doll to a local temple, and the temple still has the doll today, and you can still visit her. You are just not allowed to take pictures. Scientists have actually studied the hair and determined that it is real human hair, which is not the most unheard of thing. There's plenty of dolls This is less common now, but plenty of dolls that were made with real human hair, so it's not the strangest thing, but the fact that it keeps growing is still pretty disturbing. So you can still take ghost tours to this temple, however it is pretty remote, and you can't really drive there during the winter time due to snowstorms, or at least that's what the article said that I am taking my information from, and the link to the article will be in the description box below, so if you want to go check it out, you can. But basically the article says that it's very difficult to get to this temple because of frequent snowstorms, and then also all of the Japanese ghost tours are in Japanese. So unless you speak Japanese, you won't be really catching that much information. But I still think I would like to go see this doll. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know that I love haunted dolls. So this is definitely a doll I would love to see in real life. Number 3. Human sacrifice. Now this is one of the saddest stories on this list. This type of human sacrifice was practiced in Japan until the 16th century. Now, this type of sacrifice requires someone being sacrificed and then buried in pillars, dams, foundations, or other parts of a building in order to appease spirits and prevent enemy attacks. While this one castle was being built, the walls kept on crumbling when they were building them. So this woman agreed to be sacrificed in order for her son to become a samurai. Now the workers agreed that they would do this, and they killed her and put her into the walls of the castle. However, after she died, they did not turn her son into a samurai. And it is said that her ghost is said to haunt the castle and heard screaming. That is definitely a very sad story if you think about it. Imagine giving up your life in order to improve your life of your children, and then that just, like, her death was almost worthless, which is really sad, and especially in Japanese culture. Number 4, the Red Cape Murderer. Most of you guys have probably been familiar with this story because it is one of the most well-known Japanese urban legends, but I thought I would share it anyways because it is one of my favorites, and I also found a twist to how to prevent this from happening or how to handle this situation so you don't end up dead. The Red Cape Murderer is based on a real murderer that terrorized Japan in 1906. Now, the murderer in 1906 wore a blue cape, but the urban legend is the Red Cape Murderer. So this murderer supposedly comes into public washrooms when you are sitting down, and you will turn and look and see that there is no toilet paper. And the Red Cape Murderer will ask if you want red paper or blue paper. Now, if you choose red paper, he will decapitate. Oh my god, will I ever be able to say that word? Decapitate you. I don't think that sounds right either. He will cut your head off. But if you select blue paper, he will strangle you. Now, I've heard this story so many times before, but I would always ask, what if you asked for yellow paper? And no one's been able to answer this question, so I was so delighted when I found this article that apparently that is what you're supposed to do. When he offers red paper or blue paper, you're supposed to offer or ask for a third color that he had not mentioned, or not answer him at all. So you can keep quiet and you won't get murdered. Which is fantastic because I have met a few people who are very terrified of this Red Cape Murderer. So if you are ever in this unfortunate situation, just say yellow paper or purple paper or orange paper or green paper and you will be good. Or you can be shy and don't say anything at all. Now this one is one of the coolest stories on this list, and this is number 5, Japanese Bloody Mary. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you are into the paranormal, you've probably played Bloody Mary a few times in your life, like I have. I remember it being such a cool thing to do while I was a young kid. And let's just say I was really disappointed when I never got to see Bloody Mary. It was really sad. Considering I'm a huge history nerd, and Bloody Mary is most likely a reference to the Queen Mary, the one before Elizabeth I. Or if you go by the supernatural thing, people think she's a witch or something like that, but she's probably most likely a reference to the queen. Hanako of the toilet is the Japanese equivalent of Bloody Mary and is said to be the ghost of a little girl who died either during an air raid, which caused her school to burn down while she was hiding in the bathroom, or she was hiding from her parents who decided they were going to murder her. And while that happened, she was on the 3rd floor in the 3rd stall in the washroom. So either way, regardless of the story of what happened to this girl, her ghost is said to haunt 3rd floor, 3rd stall of washrooms throughout Japan. Apparently, to summon this spirit, you need to knock 3 times on the 3rd stall door and ask, "Hanako, are you there?" And she will reply saying, "Yes, I am here." And the door will slowly open and you will see a little girl wearing a school uniform before she drags you and drowns you in the toilet. Which is a really nasty way to go. So what did you think about these Japanese urban legends? Which ones were your favorite? Did I forget one? I mean, there's so many Japanese urban legends. If there's a favorite one that I did not mention, make sure to leave the story down below. I would love to read it, and I'm pretty sure the people watching this video would love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified when I have new uploads. Also, make sure to click the bell so you're one of the first people notified when I have a new upload. Also, make sure to like this video and follow all of my social medias. Thank you so much for watching, and bye!